There's a controversial new rule at Canada's banks effective today. They now have to ask anyone who's opening an account where they were born, and possibly even where their parents were born. Customers with a close connection to the U.S. will have their files sent directly to the IRS. It's part of a new effort to catch U.S. tax cheats. But as Shirlee Engel reports, it's generating strong opposition.
Dual citizen John Richardson is one of at least 1 million Canadians in the crosshairs of Uncle Sam.
It is an agreement to pose a U.S. law, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, on Canadian soil with the full consent of the Government of Canada.
The IRS is on the hunt for tax cheats beyond its borders. Starting today, Canadian banks are reporting clients with American ties to the Canada Revenue Agency, who share that information with the IRS.
The banks have been turned essentially, de facto, into snitches and spies for the IRS, a foreign country.
Some 77,000 banks in 70 countries have signed on to FATCA, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, passed by Congress in 2010. Even so-called accidental Americans are swept up in its net.
You've got an 85-year-old granny in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, who happened to have been born in America while her parents were down there on a Christmas shopping trip. If she doesn't report, she could be sentenced a fine of $10,000 and 3 years in prison.
Chartered accountant John Lund says some clients are even renouncing their U.S. citizenship, but it's a lengthy and costly process.
To get the tax returns, U.S. tax reporting done is over $2,000.
The late finance minister Jim Flaherty was a vocal critic of FATCA. In February, a deal with the U.S. softened the blow. Federally registered accounts such as RRSPs, RDSPs, and TFSAs will not be reported, and smaller banking institutions with assets less than $175 million will be exempt. But nothing stops the IRS from getting what it wants through audits later on, says this expert.
Then they may find that you've got an RRSP or some other pension account which is tax exempt under Canadian law, but not tax exempt under U.S. law.
Even if you have no connection to the U.S., this could still hurt your bottom line. The banks estimate the cost of gathering all this information at $100 million each. And guess who pays for that? John Richardson is part of a group planning to sue the Canadian government.
We fully expect this to go through every level of court, culminating at the Supreme Court of Canada.
So far, the IRS is only interested in the big fish, accounts over $50,000. But that could change. Shirlee Engel, Global News, Ottawa.